Hello, hi everybody. So in the last video, we stopped at creating and running a Django application, where we talked about how to create Django application, which is different from Django project, and we used this example. This is our application, and this is our let me increase this maybe in case control plus, is it plus? Okay, yes. So this is our project, our project configuration folder. This is our project folder, and this is our what's it called? Our app that we create. That we added an app to our project from settings.py. Remember, where is it? Yes, this is it. So if we create another app, we can add it here as well, and that's that. We also talked about URL routing. We will talk about that in the future. We talked about this URL. If I add anything to this place, I must go to this place before I go to whatever I had in our app URL as well. So in the future, we'll talk about that more. So now we'll continue from introduction to Django ORM. So I've written a bunch of stuff to explain Django ORM. So Django ORM is the meaning of Django ORM is object-relational mapping. We talked about it in the definition of Django, that it includes building protection against web vulnerability, and its object relational mapping helps prevent SQL injection attacks. So what is ORM? ORM is a technique that allows us to interact with the database using object-oriented programming concepts. So instead of interacting with SQL like that, we are going to write OOP, object-oriented programming. Instead of writing raw SQL queries, Django ORM provides a high-level abstraction layer, allowing us to work with database using Python code. One of the major benefits of using Django's ORM is that it simplifies the database management, and it takes care of underlying database operations such as creating table, executing query, and handling relationship between tables. With Django's ORM, you can focus more on applications logic and let the framework handle the complex database operations. So we'll learn about the queries later. So to work with the ORM, we define models in Django. That's this. In this file called models.py, we will have our models here. They are always classes, so we can use object-oriented programming for that. To work with the ORM, we will define models in Django. Models are Python classes that represent database tables. We define fields within these models to specify the data types and relationship between tables. Django's ORM automatically generates the necessary SQL queries, and based on the models we define, models are Python classes that represent database tables. We define fields within these models to specify the data types and relationship between tables. That means in the class, we define fields. Let's say we have a class. Okay, let's just do an example. Let's say class bicycle. No, class student. We're going to inherit from models. Dot model, I think. Something like this. Then we define a field called students. No, name equals to models dot character field, like this. Then age equals to, like this. So for character field, something like this. We'll continue. We'll talk about this later. So this is a table. This class is a table, and this is a field. Is a column on the table. And this is the data type. This one is a character. We are going to add the maximum length of the character, if it's going to be 20 or 10 or whatever it is. And this is integer field. That means whatever is going to be in this field is going to be integer. So Django's ORM automatically generates the necessary SQL queries based on the models we define. So there is no direct SQL queries when somebody tries in an input field. When somebody tries to insert SQL syntax in the, so to maybe they try to comment it, so everything by default will be nullified because we are getting the data from the form, either from the view, or there's another file called forms.py. We can add it here. So by default, all those things are going to be siphoned and sparsed together, either as a string or as an integer or as whatever. So based on the models we define. So let's say we have a model called user to represent our user. We can define fields like name, email, age within the model, and within this model, let's do that. Let's change this to user, name, age. We can define name, email, age. Okay, email equals to models the character field. Okay, just email field rather. That's that. We'll talk more about this later. So that's basically it. Django's ORM allows us to perform CRUD operations, that's create, read, update, and delete on this table using simple Python code. For example, to create new user, we can create an instance of the user model and save it to the database. Django's object-relational mapping also provides a powerful querying API, allowing us to retrieve data from the database using intuitive and flexible syntax. You can filter, order, and aggregate data easily by using Django's ORM. For instance, we can retrieve all users with a specific age, or order them by their names. Basically, all what you can query using SQL, we can write in Python as well. So in summary, Django's ORM simplifies database management by providing an abstract layer between our Python code and underlying database. It allows us to define models, interact with the database using Python code, and perform complex queries with ease. So in the next video, that's going to be the second week video, we'll basically touch more on this. We'll create table, we'll learn about migrations, one-to-one, many-to-one-to-many, many-to-many, perform database queries, migrations, yes, working with built-in administration interface. That's the /admin. Where is it? Okay, this is it. /admin. We get to work with this as well. So thank you very much. Have a nice day.